Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I'm your host, Mark Francis. The Sussexes made quite the entrance in New York yesterday, arriving with their signature four-car motorcade for Meghan's keynote speech at the TIME100 Summit. But it wasn't the vehicles that caught everyone's attention. It was the rather telling body language between the Duke and Duchess. Body language expert Judi James offered some rather fascinating insights into the couple's dynamic, noting that Harry appeared to be in full spare mode, essentially scurrying around like his wife's security as she sweeps into the venue like the total star. Not exactly the picture of equal partnership we might expect. Most revealing was the moment Harry reached out to touch his wife, only to be seemingly ignored. As James describes it, Meghan ignores her husband, though, despite the fact that his hand is raised to touch her. The rejection apparently left Harry in what James calls a small body language quandary, resulting in the prince awkwardly dropping his eyes and fiddling with the back of his pants to avoid being left hanging. One almost feels a twinge of sympathy. The scene continued with Meghan hugging the host but making no move to introduce her husband. Instead, she just turns and strides ahead into the venue, leaving Harry waving one hand out in the air as he follows behind her. Not exactly the power couple image they've worked so hard to cultivate. During her actual keynote, Meghan spoke about creating boundaries for mental health and her hopes for raising a very strong and confident young woman in Lilibet while ensuring Archie grows up with a confidence and sense of self that is going to empower the women around him. Admirable sentiments, though perhaps some of that empowerment might start closer to home. Fashion watchers were quick to note Meghan's choice of attire for the event, a $5,000 Ralph Lauren silk linen suit that bore a striking resemblance to an outfit worn by our wonderful Princess of Wales last year. Catherine donned a similar camel ensemble when visiting a youth charity in East London in 2023, though with one significant difference. Meghan opted for the Gen Z-approved oversized fit with notably baggy trousers. The similarity didn't go unnoticed on social media, with one particularly biting comment suggesting that Catherine did it better and her suit was correctly ironed. Others pointed to a pattern, noting that this isn't the first time the Duchess has appeared to take style cues from her sister-in-law, with similar coincidences dating back to Meghan's earliest royal appearances. Of course, some fans defend the Duchess, insisting she's an icon in her own right. But the comparisons continue to follow her, suggesting the shadow of the royal family, and particularly Catherine, still looms large in the Sussex orbit. Tom Bower, the royal biographer best known for stirring the pot with his 2022 volume Revenge, Meghan, Harry and the War Between the Windsors, is preparing a second installment on the Duke and Duchess of Sussex with promises it will contain even more explosive revelations. Speaking about his upcoming work, Mr. Bower said, "I've got a lot of new material already, and I think the whole world wants new insights. It's an amazing story. It's an eye-wateringly unique story because it's unprecedented. This is such a famous couple who are fighting for themselves all the time. They are relentless and they are restless, and that's what makes it so interesting. They have both been wounded, and what's fascinating about them is they don't stop fighting back, and the fight back is just as important as their survival. They have a crisis. Meghan wants to be a billionaire celebrity, and Harry doesn't understand that world, other than understanding that Meghan wants to be famous. He spent his whole life never having a penny in his pocket. He's never regularly travelled on the tube, never had to worry about having a car on a job. So he doesn't understand where she's coming from, which is that she worked phenomenally hard, struggled hard, and was constantly humiliated and wants the security of finance and status. She hasn't got the status she craves. She hasn't got the pulling power. He's stuck in California, clinging onto his royal status, as is she. Harry's thinking is of reconciliation. That's just totally unrealistic. There is zero chance of reconciliation because there is irreconcilable anger on the part of William and Kate. No publication date has been confirmed for the new book. Palace Intrigue will be right back. As the world mourns Pope Francis, history's most secretive transfer of power begins. Check out the new podcast from your friends here at Calaroga Shark Media called White Smoke, The Path to a New Pope. Guiding you through this momentous transition, we explain exactly what happens next, leading to the dramatic conclave vote. Learn how each ritual unfolds, what each tradition means, and why these ancient ceremonies still matter today. Follow along as the throne of St. Peter stands empty and a new chapter in church history begins. Check out White Smoke, The Path to a New Pope, available wherever you get your podcasts. And we really appreciate the support that you all give us behind the scenes here. In the Daily Mail, Richard Eden writes, "As one of Harry's closest allies tells me, the barrage of criticism serves only to intensify his loyalty to Meghan, whom he met in 2016, sparking a relationship which, in Harry's love-struck words, spurted from 0 to 60. It's horrible for him to know that people don't like his wife," reflects his chum. "He adores her, and he doesn't think she deserves any of the backlash or criticism that has been thrown at her over the past few years. He's told us that the more people hate her, the more he's going to stand by her. He's vowed to always protect the mother of his kids." Fears are mounting within royal circles that Prince Harry may be preparing to publish a second tell-all memoir, following what some commentators have described as a veiled threat made during his recent legal appeal in London. While much of the hearing was held in private for security reasons, the prince gave an interview to The Telegraph shortly afterward in which he remarked that his worst fears had been confirmed during the closed session. He added ominously, "People would be shocked by what's being held back." That particular phrase has set off alarm bells among royal watchers and insiders alike. Appearing on the Sun's royal exclusive show, GB News royal correspondent Cameron Walker addressed the growing speculation, saying, "Perhaps it was a bit of a veiled threat from Harry. If he loses this case, is he going to throw his toys out of the pram and publish or speak to a publication about some of that private stuff that we heard in court?" Walker went on to note that in interviews promoting Spare, Prince Harry admitted he had enough material for a second memoir. "I think palace sources are going to be slightly concerned about that one," he said. "They're probably hoping, just going back to whether he's going to write a book or not, that Harry and Meghan's California dream is going to work out." The quiet hills of Montecito are anything but serene of late as the community contends with a most unroyal invasion: tourists. A narrow road near the region's popular hot springs has become the scene of some distinctly un-Montecito-like chaos as cars and tour buses swarm the area in such numbers that homeowners are reportedly resorting to rather creative forms of protest. According to the Montecito Journal, residents have attempted to block the makeshift car parks by placing bushes and boulders in the way, only for them to be promptly removed by the authorities. "The last time I tried to hike the Hot Springs Trail, I had to park so far away that it would have been a hike to get to the hike," lamented Laura Capps, chair of the Santa Barbara County Board of Supervisors. Things reached a new level of farce last May when one group of residents reportedly attempted to hire a demolition crew to destroy the hot springs altogether, a move which would certainly put a rather final end to the tourism issue, but perhaps not the best foot forward in terms of public relations. And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple, or the app of your choice. And leave us a nice review if you're enjoying the show. We appreciate those 5-star reviews. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue, and good times.